Vale, muchachos y muchachas, vamos antes de irnos ver el vídeo que íbamos a ver de los 15 mejores, bueno, de 15 juegos de RTS que van a salir este año, que lo dejamos a medias, ¿vale? Porque tengo ganas de verlo y no lo he visto. Vamos a ver el edito, a ver qué nos depara, porque es un género que me gusta mucho y voy a ver qué juegos hay, ¿vale? Y con esto lo despedimos. A ver.
Hey guys and gals, today we're looking into the future and reviewing the 15 most exciting RTS games of 2025.
Qué guapo el de los barcos.
This video
Tío, me está gustando mucho a mí el de los barcos estos del World of Warship ese.
is for those who live and breathe strategy, love planning their moves, and strive to conquer new heights on virtual battlefields. But first, here are the winners of the previous giveaway. I'll message you right after this video. I love your engagement, so I'm planning to hold giveaways in every video. To participate, just subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave
Spam.
more seconds. And here are my key. Now on you enjoyed Airborne Kingdom from 2020, you're likely off.
¿Y esto? ¡Qué pesados! Ah, por cierto, esta semana oficialmente os puedo ya decir que voy a tener una noticia buena para vosotros, ¿vale? Vamos a empezar el partner con G2A este añito entero, ¿vale? Y efectivamente me van a dar claves de juegos. Y cuando salgan jueguitos guapos, haremos también el AF con G2A y darán case para sortear entre ustedes. Así que... Calla esa boca que tiene. Calla esa boquita. A todos los que ahora mismo habéis dicho que no sorteo nunca nada, os voy a vetar de los sorteos, ¿vale? Si os toca, os voy a eliminar y al siguiente roleo, ¿vale? ¿Qué se siente ahora por haber cometido un error? Oh, ¿qué pasa?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Solo para comentarte que estoy ocioso, y me dan ganas de irme con las samaritanas un rato. Si me gano un juego, ¿tú me regalas la PC?
No. Hasta ahí no llego. Ahora, el juego lo tendrás para darle pues, a tus sobrinos, a tus tíos, a tu novio o lo quien sea. La cosa, eso, que va a ser... No, para sus no, será para todo el mundo, ¿no? Depende de las keys que me den, pues eso. Entonces, guay, porque es un partner que me mola porque os podré regalar jueguitos guapos, además. Igual yo me alimento, ¿vale? Sale el nuevo Elden Ring, que va a salir este año, ¿vale? Pues me darán case para regalaros el nuevo Elden Ring. No, a mí me mola mucho esto, así que sigamos, venga, esa es la noticia.
Let's kick things off with Airborne Empire. If you enjoyed Airborne Kingdom from 2020, you're likely to appreciate this new project from the same studio. The core idea remains the same. Players will focus on building and managing a constantly moving airborne city. The developers promise a vast open world with RPG elements, various biomes, quests, and characters to interact with. In addition to city building, you'll also need to defend your floating metropolis from sky pirates.
Y es una metrópolis aérea que vas expandiendo y te la van atacando, tío. ¡Wow!
Empire Eternal. This is a classic RTS focused on large-scale battles and empire management in diverse environments.
Muchas gracias, Solverio, 29 veces.
Build armies and engage in wars to control entire continents.
¡Hostias!
Massive maps make each battle critical for the fate of your empire. A key feature of the game is its dynamic story
Evoluciona por
and
edades,
faction
tío.
development.
¡Hostias!
Depending on the player's decisions, the empire's history can unfold differently, adding replayability and motivating you to experiment with new strategies.
Onda. Qué guapo, ¿no? Este
Tempest
es
Rising, an RTS
Eso.
set in a post-apocalyptic world. Tempest Rising
A mí
challenges
estos...
players to lead
Bueno.
their armies through intense military conflicts.
No está mal,
The game
pero...
combines traditional RTS elements, such as resource gathering and base building, with modern innovations in gameplay and combat mechanics. Each faction has a unique approach to economy and warfare. The game features neutral buildings to capture,
Es
two
RTS
single-player
puro este,
campaigns, regular skirmish modes, and multiplayer with ranked match support.
Es como un mythology para que me entiendas, pero de cosas militares futuristas. ¿Y esto?
Faraway Lands, Rise of Yokai. This real-time strategy game immerses players in a world inspired by Asian mythology, where spirits and demons play a crucial role. Your goal is to build a city, gather resources, explore distant lands, and interact with other
raro,
settlements.
¿no?
Players can form alliances with various mythological creatures, using their powers to defend their lands.
Es como un Terraria, sí, pero...
Dungeons hide enemies that guard ores and treasures,
Anda.
and to defeat them, you'll need to build towers and expand your army.
Qué raro, tío. Está curiosete, pero es raro, ¿no? Nunca he visto un juego así.
Immortal Gates of Pyre. This strategy game offers large-scale battles in a sci-fi universe with a unique emphasis on heroes, immortal beings who lead armies and possess special abilities.
Esto es como
the
StarCraft,
gameplay
¿no?
focuses on dynamic battles with numerous units, as well as hero and army customization. You'll not only conquer territories and gather resources, but also develop your heroes, tailoring them to specific battle scenarios.
Buah, salen un montón, ¿eh? ¿Y este?
Sanctuary, Shattered Sunday. In this ambitious RTS...
Tío, salen un montón de RTS que tienen como el mismo estilo gráfico y la misma un poco el mismo rollo. De naves futuristas, tal, voltear la base como el StarCraft, igual.
Players find themselves in a space
Pero salen muchos.
Fighting for control over a dying world. The gameplay emphasizes large-scale battles, base building, and technological advancement to outmatch your enemies. Each faction comes with unique characteristics and abilities. A key mechanic is the development of technology, which defines each faction's playstyle. You'll need to balance aggressive expansion with the defense of your territory.
Ya, ese lo he visto de antes, tío. Ese lo he visto. Pero está verde, ¿eh? Por lo que yo estoy viendo.
Global Conflagration. This RTS features a modern setting where global conflict between military alliances has become a reality. The game combines traditional RTS elements like base building with large-scale battles involving tanks, infantry, and helicopters. The focus is on military operations and army management with realistic units and weapons. The gameplay emphasizes tactical decisions on the battlefield, where each unit plays a vital role.
Esto el juego me lo meto por el culo, ¿eh?
Dino Lords is a unique strategy game where a medieval setting collides with prehistoric creatures. Imagine managing knights and siege machines while battling alongside giant dinosaurs.
¡Hostias!
The game promises thrilling combat and original mechanics, blending city-building elements with large-scale battles.
Y defiendes hordas, ¿no?
Requires well-thought-out strategies, as survival depends on effectively combining the strength of feudal armies and the might of ancient predators. This ensures that every match feels distinct and fresh.
Es muy raro este, ¿no? Los dinosaurios ahí.
The Last General is an upcoming RTS that promises to immerse you in large-scale modern military conflicts. Players will assume the role of an army commander, planning and executing strategic maneuvers, ranging from territory capture to rescue missions and eliminating enemy targets. The game offers numerous missions, each requiring resource management and tactical preparation to secure victory on the battlefield. The game world supports both single-player and multiplayer battles. If you're looking for an RTS with rich tactical gameplay and mission variety...
Esto mola, llevar los tanques y las unidades como si fuese un hecho mythology, pero de unidades estas de Segunda Guerra Mundial o que sea de una guerra más contemporánea, tío, es la polla.
The Last General is a must-add to your wishlist.
Mola mucho eso.
For 100 catapults.
Cuidado.
This project promises to be a fast-paced RTS where siege mechanics take center stage. The game focuses on epic battles, with the main task being to use catapults and siege machines to destroy enemy fortresses. Players will have access to a wide range of strategies for managing catapults and supporting troops. The challenge lies in effective resource management and prioritizing during sieges. You'll not only build and defend your fortifications, but also plan attacks on your opponent's strongholds. Based on the stated features, fans of large-scale sieges and fort building will find plenty to enjoy in this game.
Sí, pochillo este, ¿eh? Uf.
Dust Front RTS.
El vídeo se llama así. Los 15 mejores juegos de estrategia en tiempo real que se lanzarán en 2025.
Takes players into a post-apocalyptic world with destructible landscapes and military vehicles. One of the game's unique features is its detailed destruction system. Not only can buildings be destroyed, but entire sections of the map can be altered, changing battle strategy.
A mí esta estética no me gusta demasiado, ¿eh?
The game also emphasizes resource management and troop control, where each vehicle or infantry unit plays a distinct role. The combat system focuses on tactical maneuvers and using the environment to gain victory. Combined with the wasteland atmosphere and constant resource scarcity, the game offers complex, thrilling survival battles that require skill and precise strategic planning.
Hay demasiados, y yo por lo que he visto hay un montón repetidos. Hay demasiados juegos, ¿no?
Starhome offers a unique take on RTS in a sci-fi setting. The main focus is on colonizing new planets, resource extraction, and strategic space battles.
Cuidado,
Players can develop bases on various planets, using their natural resources to build fleets and fortifications. Each planet has its own unique conditions, requiring players to adapt their strategy to the environment. The game strikes a balance between exploration and combat, where success in battles depends on smart resource distribution and technological advancements.
Dios.
Counterclash is a classic RTS focused on fast-paced tactics and large-scale battles.
Esto será de ir limpiando e ir subiendo a un par de personajes que tengas, ¿no?
The game promises dynamic gameplay where every player action, whether it's building a base or launching an attack, holds critical significance. The core mechanic involves commanding large units, requiring players to react quickly to battlefield changes and efficiently allocate their forces. One of the key features of Counterclash is the ability to adapt tactics in real time, shifting battle strategies based on current conditions. Players must make quick decisions and adjust their plans on the fly, leading to intense and unpredictable encounters. Divine Commander stands out as an action RTS specifically designed for controller-based gameplay. The game offers a unique experience where players assume the role of a powerful Greek god, participating
me recuerda mucho al Age of Empires este que sacaron el raro,
in large-scale battles. The defining feature is the
un rollo muy arcade.
ability to not only control an army but also
Pero estos juegos para iniciarse en los RTS están muy bien, Son ese típico juego que jugarías para iniciarte en el mundo, ¿no?
Additionally, the game promises extensive base development and tactical
No, ni siquiera es el del celular.
While it's aimed at a broader audience, including console gamers, it maintains core RTS elements, delivering deep strategic
literal
decisions and
es el típico juego para iniciarse en esto.
Each of these projects brings something unique to the real-time strategy genre, infusing fresh ideas into gameplay. So, if you're a true RTS fan, make sure you don't miss their releases. In the next video, we'll be giving away 2 keys for Black Sad, Under the Skin.
Bueno, pues está guay. ¿Y cuál me has pasado tú? Most Anticipated. A ver este vídeo. Vamos a ver el de Neko.
Hey everybody, it's Party Lead, and it's time to take a look at all the great strategic and tactical games slated for release over the course of the year.
Aquí no hay subtítulos, pero bueno.
Heart of the Machine is releasing on the 31st of January, blending 4X gameplay with RPG elements and a heavy but extremely open-ended narrative approach. You play as the world's first sentient AI in the distant future, born into a decrepit city ruled by corporate overlords and PMCs.
Ya dura bastante,
This is definitely one of those games where there's more going on than first
el Civilization 7, este lo vamos a jugar,
Sí.
Este creo que va a ser el mejor Civilization. No va a haber, aquí no va a haber ningún drama. Yo lo que estoy viendo de este juego ha mejorado todo. Lo han mimado un montón. Este va a ser el puto GOTY. O sea, no va a ser un GOTY, seguramente.
The Civilization series has always been about leading a specific historical nation after picking a faction leader based on the specific benefits they provide, and then taking that nation on a procedurally generated map, playing turn by turn to build cities, expand borders, recruit units, and go toe-to-toe with other factions in the pursuit of newer technologies and world domination.
Mira cómo se ve, tío, qué bonito.
Military conquest, diplomacy, or something else.
Y cómo vas aumentando las ciudades, lo de los ejércitos, está muy guapo.
The Civilization series is a staple of the genre, and it's been around 6.5 years since Civilization 6 released, with this new installment looking to bring some innovations with how it approaches some of the core tenets of the series that I just mentioned. Truth be told, some of these innovations here seem inspired by humankind, which I think is great. I found the latter's exploration of cultural development over ages.
Puedes elegir la cultura que quieras, hacer lo que quieras con esa cultura, crecer la ciudad más pequeña, un sitio, en otro. En el mapa es brutal. Enfréntate a quien quieras. Diplomacia. Mira, vas subiendo como de edades históricas de la humanidad. Está muy chulo, tío. Muy chulo.
That I'd hoped it would inspire other historical 4X games to explore similar concepts. And here we are with Civilization 7 putting its own spin on it, allowing you to choose a starting civilization.
Era
Era 1 is slated to release on the 20th of February, and it's an absolutely gorgeous looking space sci-fi RTS with a large number of modular base building elements mixed in with a heavy homeworld feel to its
un RTS pero de rollo espacial, tú vas en el espacio y otra vez. Que esto, a mí estos me fascinan un montón, A mí todo lo que sea espacio, tío.
Across multiple classes with formation management, different weapon types, and classic RTS-style control systems spread across massive maps that you'll be able to dive into in multi and single player. A big standout feature is the modular approach to the main base, outposts, and massive warships, allowing you to build modules individually piece by piece, building your equipment.
Vale, que puedes poner los módulos de una nave pieza por pieza y hacer tu puta base ahí y armarla. Vale, comandos, a ver. ¡Oh, el comandos!
The demo is still available to play, so if you're even remotely interested in real-time stealth tactics games, I'd highly recommend checking it out to make your own judgment call. The Commandos games have been around for a very long time, and this game is set as a prequel, taking you to the formation of the elite task force as it goes behind enemy lines during World War II, asking you to take on dangerous missions with a small group of experts, each with a unique set of skills that ask you to seek synergies between them as you face off.
Es como, debe ser no sé si es un remake, pone, es Commandos Origins, no sé, Origins, no sé exactamente si es un remake o qué. Yo creo que no va a ser un remake esto,
We'll keep an eye on enemy lines of sights and patrols as you plan your movements, diving from hiding spot to hiding spot, distracting people or pulling them away from their posts when possible, coordinating synchronized actions between the various members of your band of 6 unique characters, and otherwise hitting quick save and quick load repeatedly until those keys on your keyboard fall out. A lot of the quality of life improvements that Me games introduced with their games in the genre are present here.
Eso, comandos, no tiene mucho más. Earth of Orin, otro así raro.
Earth of Orin is slated to release in Q1 of 2025.
Estos juegos son la polla.
It's looking like a game that could go in either direction.
Es que esto lo ves así y dices tú, buah, pero ¿esto qué me ofrece? Esto te pegas una de horas que no te das ni puta cuenta. Los RTS son de
city
fase.
Building and management versus strategic and tactical game divide, blending aspects of both sides of the fence
bonito,
with a gorgeous art style and a high level of customizability.
No te llaman los RTS,
Set
¿no?
in an alternate medieval world,
depende,
the game puts you in charge of a kingdom to build and rule as you see fit, promising the usual dichotomy of benevolent king on one side and tyrannical despot on the other. There isn't too much new information about the game since it first pinged my radar, but it promises a lot of very interesting ideas that I can't wait to get my hands on. Buildings can either be built using prefabs or entirely customized using a very impressive building system that, apart from letting you visually design things as you want them, lets you also choose what materials to use for various considerations.
Claro, está haciendo la muralla piedra por piedra, está guapo, El Kenshi me recuerda mucho, es un buen juego también. Es muy RTS el Kenshi, ¿no? A ver, Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow is coming out June 2025, and this is hands down one of the most exciting real-time strategy games slated for release this year. Inspired by the Legion War Game series and Steel Division games, Broken Arrow is another modern warfare RTS that pits the US against Russia, asking you to field armor, air, infantry, artillery, and naval units across multiple single-player missions or in multiplayer in absolutely massive maps based on real-world locations featuring urban centers and the spaces between them, from small towns to fields and forests and industrial harbors and more. The demo from a while ago still acts as a great example, in my mind, of how Broken Arrow is looking to innovate on the formula, having the player take over one side of a strait before having to transport troops across the water using amphibious and air vehicles, landing atop a hill on the other side before pushing out to secure high-rises in preparation for naval support to arrive. The combined arms tactics, the variety of toys at play, and the scripted beats all came together very nicely, and if that's how single-player is going to be, I can see this filling a gap that other similar games ignore pretty much completely.
Mola, Estos molan mucho, la verdad. ¿Esto qué es? Heroes of Might.
A new Heroes of Might and Magic game.
A ver.
Take charge of one of 6 varied, asymmetrically designed factions, ranging from the undead to the...
Esto es por turnos, ¿no? Espera por turnos.
And its many biomes to collect resources genre-defining turn-based tactical RPG from a handful
no sé, estoy mirando a ver si sale algo interesante. El Civilization, 100%.
A group of Marines to a star system that has recently been cut off from the core, tasked with bringing order among disparate factions, seeking relations with them where possible to gain access to additional equipment and units, but otherwise needing to keep them in check as you try to reconnect the system with the core. In the midst of all this, a new threat rises in the system, and that changes the complexion of the situation as things start to hit the fan. The game maintains the character focus of Battle Brothers by giving you squad leaders to take care of, with some in charge of infantry squads and others in charge of vehicles of one kind or another, from tanks to walkers. These squad leaders will build relationships over time, leveling up and unlocking new perks, though there is of course a chance that you'll lose them along the way as well, and each new game will pick a handful from a pool.
Está guapo este también, ¿eh? Grid y Valor. A ver,
in 2025,
es que
and I got to spend some time
tío.
with its closed beta before the end of last year, convincing me that this is one to keep an eye on.
¿Este lo hemos
The
visto?
game features real-time grid-based mech battles with roguelike elements as you push back against a very successful Nazi Germany that's managed to all but win World War II. A simple rock-paper-scissors system is made extremely intense and punishing as you try to manage the...
Es en pequeños escenarios y es como un piedra, papel, tijera. De ese estilo ha dicho. Es como estilo piedra, papel, tijera en el juego. O sea, una cosa así muy corta, tal, de tomar una decisión que cause X, todo full... Tomar decisiones rápidas, imagino, ¿no? Para limpiar.
Turn-based tactics game centered around a labor uprising.
Mars Tactic.
Mars Tactics is slated for release sometime in 2025, bringing us a very exciting turn-based tactics game centered around a labor uprising on the Red Planet. There are some very fresh mechanics being introduced here that I'm particularly excited for, beyond the fun sci-fi setting and the extremely asymmetric factions that each focus on what powers. Providing support between grid tiles is a major aspect of the strategic layer, where reinforcements will arrive on the battlefield.
A mí me gustan más los RTS rollo eso, Age of Empires, ¿sabes? Que son más directos, no tan de gestión de pocas unidades. Me gustan gestión de muchas unidades, de tropas, de grandes grupos de tropas, como los de antes que estábamos viendo de la guerra. Estos no me acaban de convencer mucho.
Participate in all the familiar aspects of the genre. Design your own ships to go out and fight in 3D space, meet new factions and engage in diplomacy and trade, so on and so forth.
Los XCOM-like, sí, más o menos.
There are a few standout elements that got me interested here in particular. Most importantly, the game lets you transition between space and planet surface gameplay seamlessly, allowing you to build up your colonies and exploit them for their resources as you recruit ground warfare units and manage the needs of the local populace, all while building your space fleet to expand beyond your initial homeworld as well. This introduces new unit types in orbital units like satellites that can be used to support ground combat or turn their attention against invading spaceships as well.
Y vas aumentando la estación espacial también. Este está guapo, ¿eh? De un planeta ahora conquistando, ¿sabes?
Mejorando. In a way that I don't think I've seen other 4X games do. Multiple skill trees to explore alongside a large tech tree and a huge variety of resources alongside concerns about culture, religion, politics, pollution, and more should all provide some very good variety across multiple runs. But it's that core element where you concern yourself with planetary operations just as much as space operations that I think really makes Beyond Astra stand out amongst 4X competitors.
Sí, es un mini No Man's Sky, sí.
Checking it out later
this
year.
Un poco más
Fragile Existence is also slated for 2025 and shares a tiny bit of overlap with Beyond Astra in that this is also a space sci-fi game where you need to concern yourself with operations in space and planet side.
Hay un montón de espacio de estos, ¿eh?
It looks to provide a completely unique experience as a space RTS with base building and
esto es peña de otros sitios, ¿eh?
Fleet management elements instead.
Multiplayer puro.
I don't think I've seen any other game quite do this, putting you in charge of a flotilla that represents the last survivors of humanity and asking you to escape a ceaseless predator that intends to hunt you through countless star systems. You'll be tasked with harnessing as many resources as possible at every new system you arrive on, working quickly to colonize and exploit the planets, using what they have on offer to strengthen and advance your capabilities, hoping to one day overpower the existential threat
montas tu base y la peña también lo hace. Esto me parece una locura, ¿no?
That chases you and establish a new home.
En cada planeta.
You'll need to coordinate operations between the ground, orbit, and space beyond and between planets as you probe for resources, establish bases, and secure supply trains featuring physicalized resources that actually need to be moved from point to point to be of any use, making positioning and coordination of utmost importance in a race against the inevitable. I've covered Fragile Existence in depth on my channel before, and you can learn more about it by watching the video linked under the eye.
Puedes hacer como cosas en el espacio, tanto en el planeta, y vas explotando el planeta, haciendo tu base. Chulo este.
Tower defense gameplay in a sci-fi setting.
Esto no me gustan, este tipo de juegos no me gustan mucho, la verdad. A ver el Gilded Destiny, ¿esto qué es?
Gilded Destiny is slated for 2025 and it's looking like an absolutely wonderful addition to the grand strategy space, taking place during the Industrial Revolution and putting you in charge of one of many nations of the time and setting you loose to rewrite history. While it shares a lot of similarities with Victoria 3, there are some key differentiators that should help fill the gap left behind for fans of certain aspects of Victoria 2, while generally aiming to provide a very deep simulation of intertwining elements for endless replayability focused around the challenges of the era. Modernization, social pressures, economic
claro, esto va a ser como un Crusader King, pero de la época industrial, ¿no?
pressures, colonization, básicamente. So on and so forth.
Es de microgestión. Esto tan guapos, mola mucho, ¿eh? Espiocracy. A ver, espiocracy.
Espiocracy is targeting a 2025 release date as another great new grand strategy game, this time focused on the shadowy world of espionage, starting from the Cold War
de la era del espionaje, ¿no?
right up
la Guerra
to the
Fría,
modern
¿no?
day. You'll be able to pick from a large number of secret services around the world to further your goals through the use of agents, planning and executing operations to infiltrate everything from government agencies to pop culture, building relationships among people, developing new technologies, and needing to keep an eye out for spies in your own backyard as you deal with nuclear brinkmanship, proxy wars, foreign interests, and turncoats alike. Worry about your people's personal biases as you assign them tasks. Keep an eye out for worrying cliques and subgroups and sway political parties.
No hay gameplay, no enseñan nada. Falling Frontier, otro del espacio.
Space sci-fi RTS continues to be one of my most anticipated games since I first came across it. Apart from the narrative campaign that spans a massive expanse for players to lose themselves in, it'll come with a scenario editor that should allow players to build their own experiences to share as well. And apart from slowly revealing
Hostia, va a tener el típico de creador de escenarios para que luego la gente haga sus mapas y todo para otros. Cuidado,
designs that fit the grounded, hard sci-fi universe, the developer is now hard at work building up how space stations look and operate, tying into a vast logistics and supply chain system, as well as considerations of electronic warfare, stealth, and, of course, resource acquisition
Son muy parecidos,
and production
sí, son parecidos.
Apart from the cinematic approach and god-tier visuals, the systems weaving it all together are what make Falling if any have previously allowed.
Pues bombardear un planeta, ¿sabes?
For Falling Frontier.
Sí, es muy parecido a los otros, ¿no? A ver, Sanctuary.
Sanctuary Shattered Sun looks like a very exciting sci-fi RTS with an absolutely massive scale with up to 10,000 units at the player's fingertips, alongside super weapons that can literally modify the massive 40 by 40 kilometer large battlefields by cracking holes in the planet or
lo hemos visto. A ver, Mira Empires. A ver este. Cuidado, que este es medieval. Estos son los que más me gustan. Cuidado con este.
Foxhole, the medieval MMO will allow thousands of players to face off in a persistent open world where the players are truly in control of the ebb and flow of conflict. Build up settlements from little
Construye un
hamlets
mundo persistente.
to
Estos son la
fortresses
polla.
using a modular building system, work cooperatively with other members of the kingdom, and, if not fighting, provide support in the form of logistics, building supply camps and...
Es que tú imagínate un mapa gigante donde hay un servidor y tú persistentemente vas a hacer un universo en el cual te montas tu... Es como un Rust, pero te montas tu ciudad medieval y luego hay otra persona que tiene otra ciudad y otra y otra y otra. Y son reinos y tienes que ir aliando con otros players para hacer una batalla grande contra otra gente. ¿Sabes? Tú imaginas... Como Foxhole. Sí, como Foxhole, pero rollo... Con otro rollo. Eso es. Guapísimo,
or building siege camps provide siege
sí, es un Foxhole medieval, efectivamente. Claro, o sea, cada uno de estos es una persona, tío. ¡Qué locura! Es un Foxhole, pero medieval. Ojito, ¿eh?
The dev diaries have been very promising so far, and I can't wait to learn more. Empire Eternal reminds me of some of my favorite RTS
games. Lo hemos visto antes. Salió antes.
The Scouring is another upcoming RTS.
Esto me recuerda al Warcraft.
One harkening back to the OG Warcraft days with
¡Ya ves! Humanos, orcos.
Humans versus orcs dichotomy. The game looks very vibrant and fast-paced, and just overall feels like it could be a good time in single and multiplayer with up to 8 players as it tasks you with
sí, tal cual,
from on high, with the addition of some ARPG elements as you can take control of your heroes, equipping them and using their abilities to tilt battles in your favor. A demo is slated for early in the year, and I'll be curious to see how this feels in action. Warhammer 40k Mechanicus 2 looks like it'll expand on everything its predecessor did well, which is quite a lot considering it was one of the best turn-based tactics games this IP has ever seen. Mechanicus 2 will feature single-player campaigns from the perspective of the two massively asymmetrical factions that featured in the previous title. One, a millennia-old empire of robots that were in a peaceful stasis until you arrived in the previous game and disturbed their slumber, and the other being the more machine-than-man tech-loving perpetrators of said disturbance. I'm curious to see what other one screenshot.
No hay gameplay, me la pela.
See anything you like?
Bueno, pues está guapo, tío. Bueno, a ver, quitando el Foxhole medieval y a lo mejor también alguno aquí de la Segunda Guerra Mundial, entonces están bien todos, ¿eh? O sea, quiero decir, me mola, pero voy a jugar 2 o 3 de los que hemos visto en total, ¿vale? Seguramente. Civilization, el Foxhole medieval, me lo voy a meter por el culo. 100%, ¿eh? Ese tipo de juegos son la polla. Señores, yo me voy, ¿vale? Chicos, gracias por estar en el día de hoy.